Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in. For this lesson, I'll be talking about the Beatles' recording of Any Time at All that they did in June of 1964. Now, early in '64, John Lennon was still the main composer of songs for the Beatles, and while on vacation in May, he wrote Any Time at All. He's on record saying that it was a reworking of It Won't Be Long, probably meaning that the chord sequence is similar, going from a major chord to its relative minor. The song was mostly finished when they went into EMI Studio 2 on June 2nd, and it was intended for the Hard Day's Night album. But Paul, George, and Ringo were hearing the song for the very first time in the studio, and so they rehearsed it for quite a while, and when they were ready, they did 7 takes of the song, playing and singing live with the usual lineup: John on acoustic, George on 12-string, Ringo on drums, and Paul on bass. Then they took a break and they actually worked on some other songs, but when they came back, they decided that it needed a middle 8, so Paul came up with that chord sequence for the middle 8, and they were going to write lyrics, but they never got around to doing that, so it ended up being an instrumental. They did 4 more takes, and take 11 ended up being the one that they used. But fun facts to know and tell, Ringo doesn't play the fill in the second chorus. He was very ill when they were doing the session. Actually, he had to go to the hospital in a few days after for tonsillitis. And George also flubs the guitar phrase in the second chorus. And they didn't fix these mistakes, probably because there just wasn't enough time because of their busy schedules. The next day, John and Paul go back in the studio and they double track their lead vocals. Paul added that piano part in the instrumental section. And John or George, it's hard to know for sure, overdubbed a nylon string acoustic guitar. And it's written that John actually played the last chord of the song as an overdub. And it sounds like it was done on a 12-string. The song was mixed on June 4th. The Beatles never played the song live in any concerts, and they never played it on the BBC. And it was released on the British Hard Day's Night album, and in America on an album called Something New in July of 1964. So that's the backstory. Let's get started. John Lennon is playing his Gibson J160E on Any Time at All, and although he usually used a medium-sized pick, I find on strumming songs like this, if you use a lighter pick, this is like a .73, it records better. So in order to play the song, you're going to need these chords. You'll need a B minor, you'll need a D, an A, you're going to need a G, an A7. During the verses, you'll need an F sharp minor, and you'll need a G minor. And I believe those are all the chords you'll need. Now the song starts off, of course, with Ringo hitting that snare and floor tom at the same time, and then there's one anticipating chord on the end of 4 of the first measure, which is the D. So if you don't know, that just means you play the chord on the end of 4. So it's a B minor to a D, and you play like. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, D on the upbeat. And that's the only anticipation. So again, I'll just play the chorus. It starts like this: 3, 4. On the chorus, the first time he plays an A7. That's the only time he plays an A7. Other than that, he plays a regular A chord. Okay, on the verses, you go from D to F sharp minor to B minor to that G minor, which is a really nice move. And I'll play it for you. Here's a verse: 3, 4. Very easy and something that all levels of guitar players can master fairly quickly. Now, the second chorus and the second verse are exactly the same. The only difference is, like I said, he doesn't play an A7. He plays a regular A on the second chorus. So it's like this. Second chorus would be. And if you want to be really anal and play like John Lennon, like when he plays an A chord, he'll voice the chord, but he'll make 3 strings, then 4, then 5. So like very slowly. That's a nice way to get a little more out of your chord voicings. Chorus 3 is exactly the same. So into chorus 3, I'll just give it to you like this: 3, 4. Now on the bridge, there's a couple of differences. On the first measure, it's an A7 to a B minor, but John does 2 ghost notes on second and fourth beat. And what I mean is he goes, like just kind of picks up his hand and, strums the strings, and on the B minor too. So you got, then to A, I'm sorry. Then some quarter note triplets, all played down. To a G. 2 full measures of quarter note triplets. So again, if you don't know quarter note triplets, you count like, all right, see that? 3, 4. So the whole bridge in time would be like this: 3, 4. All right, last chorus. Just a few extra down beats instead of eighth notes. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will show it to you exactly how John played it. But here's chorus 4, 3, 4. And the last 4 measures: G, A to D. And that's it. So that's what John played on the rhythm part of Any Time at All. Somebody overdubbed a nylon string guitar on Any Time at All. Could be John, could be George. The part is simple, and if you're a 3-guitar playing band, your rhythm guitar player will have a lot of fun just strumming along. And basically, you just need to think in eighth notes, just strum eighth notes, and once in a while, accent the downbeat. During the bridge, you'll do the triplets, and there's something different in verse 2. So anyhow, you just play, just strum through the chords, so it would sound like this at the first chorus: 3, 4. When I record something like this, I like to use a really light pick. This is like probably a 0.43, 0.46, and it records really nice when you strum with a light pick. So on a verse, again, just eighth notes, and you can accent some of the first beats. So on a verse, sounds like this on the nylon: 3, 4. And along with John's J160E, it really fills it up nice. Second chorus is exactly the same as the first, just strum eighth notes. But of note is on verse 2, on the first beat of every measure, there's an accent on the nylon string guitar where it really is prominently arpeggiating through the chord and then strumming lightly. And then the 12 string, which I'll tell you about in a minute, just plays single notes, and it really nice, gives a nice fat chord a sound right there. So on a nylon, you'd play like this, accenting the first beat of every measure, like this. And the chorus 3 will be the same. And on the bridge, pretty much just strum through it. Strum through the chords on the bridge, which would be like 3, 4. And finish the song off with chorus 4. I like simple parts like that, and it was really smart to do this along with the J160 to fatten up the rhythm sound. So that's what the nylon string guitar does on Anytime at All. George Harrison is playing his Rickenbacker 12 string on Anytime at All, and he does his usual stellar great lead guitar work. He starts off the first chorus playing a B note and a couple of ghost notes. It sounds like this. He plays 3, 4. I'll do that for you nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. All right, now during the verse, he kind of anticipates some of his chords. He plays like this. For first verse, 1. Now on these D to A, you can tell he's strumming up, so he plays 1. Again, strums up. Okay? Chorus 2 is slightly different. Chorus 2 is like this. 1. So kind of incomplete on that second chorus. Then on verse 2, he doesn't play on the very first measure. He waits till the end of 3 of the second measure, and he plays some low notes while the nylon string guitar is strumming, and it makes a nice full sound. So he doesn't play on the first measure, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And again, with the nylon string guitar playing, arpeggiating through the chords, it's a really full sound. Okay, to chorus 3, starts on a B minor, he plays like this, he goes 3, 4. All right, I'll do that slow for you. 3, 4. All right, now on that bridge, which is kind of like like a lead part, I guess, you go from A7 to G to A. So you play up to just to the second string, then all the way on the first string of G and the first string of A. So you want the sound to go like and then chord note triplets on that A7 to G. Now, he's probably just playing, what you hear, low notes you hear. So if you voice your A like this, like a A over C sharp, down to a G over B, like this. You'll get the right sound. So let me play you the whole bridge. So the bridge would be like this. 3, 4. And then the last chorus is like this. 3, 4. And then the very last chord, you have to tune down the E string to a low D. Let me do that real fast. So you play a low D and a D on the 5th fret here, and then the chord, like this. And that's the last chord. So that's the 12-string part on Any Time at All. Well, I put it all together in a sound alike so you can see how all the guitar parts fit together. So have a look at this. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call and I'll be there. If you need somebody to love, just look into my eyes. I'll be there to make you feel right. If you're feeling sorry and sad, I'd really sympathize. Don't you be sad, just call me tonight. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call and I'll be there. If the sun has faded away, I'll try to make it shine. There is nothing I won't do. When you need a shoulder to cry on, I hope that you'll be mine. Call me tonight and I'll come to you. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call and I'll be there. Well, there you have it. Now you see how all those parts fit together to make a really nice little rocker. I suggest you download the charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com, learn all the parts, play along with my sound alike, and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And I really appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.